Welcome to Ocean Ammo. Probably one of the things we probably wanted you to see is the new shapes for 2026. We've changed a lot of these, made them a lot wider, given them a lot more side-to-side stability. You can see the remarkable difference compared to some of the old ones. For instance, that's the current shape, is much wider. So our testing has shown that these absorb probably 30-40% more recoil as well, given the width, and it's just that shock wave tends to disperse a lot wider once it's getting towards the handle. So we're really excited about these. They're a lot thinner, much more smoother. Initial feedback's been awesome on the new shape, so they'll go into production and be available October. Let's go take a look. So this is basically our final assembly area. Once the guns are finished, they're put on a bench there and they're marked ready for assembly area, and here we rig and get them ready before they go out for a water test, before we give them the final okay. So in production, basically our CNC area, we've actually got another CNC there in the box. It's actually going in here. Our third, they do a lot of the handle recesses and the trigger mechanisms. It keeps them all really consistent. So it was a standard progression for us. Moving along, production line. They generally all get cut and laminated. They all get, the customer names are all added to the blank, and they follow the gun all the way through to its completion. So we know whose gun is what, and we also write everywhere on the gun, so there's just no confusion as to whose is who. The boys have their own sanding bays. The majority of the gun is hand finished. We like it that way because it keeps it more personal. Guys take more pride. You can see they're just prepping a couple ready to get picked up today. The glue area, stock area here, we basically do all the roughing work that's done here. You see they're not super expensive machines. They do the work. We try and keep the cost down so that we don't have to pass that on to the end user. So our teak comes pre-cut. We buy that in thousands of board feet. Quantity equals savings, which is always passed on to you guys. You see all hand routers. Okay, so we don't have expensive machines. Expensive machines mean, huge lease costs, which are then need to be apportioned into a spear gun. It's just not who we are. We like the hard work. We like seeing what's produced when it's finished. And in that way, once again, we can keep, guns affordable. The volume we produce currently during the season is approximately about 150 guns a month. That's about 5 a day. We pride ourselves in being able to do custom work. Custom logos, your images that you guys love. We do octopus tentacles, and we do full gun coverages in skulls and fish and all sorts of things. So we enjoy those challenges that we're given. And as you can see, we do a lot of island work on the guns as well. These are all production guns. This is probably our biggest selling line, is our Hybris series single roller. We now takes up probably 70% of the volume of our guns that we build is the Hybris. The new Hybris is out of this world. So we expect that they'll probably take up, 80-90% of the guns that we produce for 2026. So as you can see, a lot of volume here, close to 2,000 spear guns a year come out of this tiny little area. The boys love coming to work. They're usually here before me and here after I leave. I don't sit at a desk all day. I run the CNC part of the machines and the laser work, and I basically cut every single track myself. So we pour the tracks together. It's a 3-man process because we have probably the only spear gun that we can pour, cut, machine a spear gun track, and you can use it on the same day, right? So it's just not done. A lot of our competition use epoxy that take 24, 48 hours to dry, and in our opinion, epoxy is substandard for spear gun use. So one of the big questions that we get is about our spear gun tracks. And we use a proprietary material that's impregnated with our own additive that creates a natural slime once it hits salt water. The additive is actually a living organism that lives within the porosity of the material that we use. So it doesn't matter what color we color it, it doesn't matter how we cut it. Once you get this in salt water, there's a significant change in the way it presents itself. Okay, so the micro slime results in almost a zero friction when you're shooting the gun. What does zero friction gives you? Well, I mean, if you, for instance, send a ball down a concrete path, eventually all of that contact area is going to create friction and eventually it's going to come to a stop. With these, having the lubrication, we generally get up to 30% more range on our guns, and the common feedback that we get from our customers is how far our guns shoot. Okay, it all comes from that. Really, there's only really 2 things on a spear gun that are going to give you power and range. Number one is the track and how efficient it is, and it's the stretch of the bands. Okay, so the rest is just all mechanisms to lock, load, and fire. Right, so yeah, we can color this basically any color you can possibly imagine. We've done, we do single colors, as you can see. We do abalone. We can do 10 color mixes. We can make a glow in the dark, which is a popular thing, especially for guys who dive in low visibility. Yeah, so giving people the options is what we're known for.